Hello viewers, welcome back to class. I'm super excited to welcome you guys back to Master with Us Online Academy. If you are new in this channel, do consider subscribing to this channel and ensure that you turn on the post notification bell for more exciting videos. Now that you are ready to watch and to learn, please do not skip any part of this video, for this is for your own advantage. And also, if you are set to watch and to learn new concepts from this platform, don't entertain any form of distraction. Then finally, if there be any part in this video that you do not understand, guys, you have the singular opportunity to replay the video over and over again until you understand it. Then if at the end of watching the video over and over again, yet you have questions to ask, please go down to the comment section and quickly document your questions there. We will reply your questions, answer you, and ensure that you are satisfied. If this is got it, therefore, let's get to work. On the board, we are still looking at differentiation of functions in calculus for year 1 students. So we are employing shortcuts to every problems that we are solving in this message. Now, we are currently on gradients or slopes of functions. Now, understand that you can be given a question and you are asked to find the gradient of the function or find the slope of the function. It is very simple. Generally, we know that the slope of any function is the ratio of the change in y over change in x. And we understand that change in y over change in x is exactly the same thing as the y over the x. And that's exactly what we have on the board. So you can have either the word slope or gradient. They all mean the same thing. Now, for me to be able to obtain the gradient of any function, I must be given the value of x, which is what? The independent variable. Like we explained earlier when we started, we said that y and x are the major functions that we have in differentiation or in calculus, where x is the independent variable and y is the dependent variable. So the value of the independent variable will always be given. Now, for the sake of implicit function, you will be given the value of x and equally the value of y. Now, on the board, we have the very first problem. We are asked to evaluate the gradient or the slope of the following functions at the given point. So, for every question that we have here, we have various values of x. The ones we have in your exam may not be this, but this method will help you to solve problems on gradient effectively. So seek to understand the principles that works. Because I always tell you, when you understand principles, you will not overstep your boundaries. So guys, now on the board, we have our solution already. And we have the very question number 1. Y is equal to x cubed plus 4x plus 1 at x is equal to 0. All that you simply do here is to differentiate y with respect to x. After you have successfully differentiated y with respect to x and you are satisfied with your answer, then substitute the value of x. Simplify. Get your answer. That is all. The job is done. Now, so we have dy over dx of this function. Now, first thing you also do anytime you are about to differentiate a function is to identify the type of function. Now, this function is a polynomial function, and you know what happens anytime we differentiate polynomial function. What happens is that we bring down the power to multiply the existing coefficient and now reduce the power by 1. So if this is understood, we bring that 3. We have 3x, reduce 3 by 1, you have 2. Then plus, when you differentiate 4x, we have 4, ys disappears. And when you differentiate with plus 1, you have 0, being a constant. Don't forget we are using shortcuts. So we quickly ignore those things that we do not need. If we are asked to find the y over the x, this is just what we have, and this is the slope. So at this point now, to obtain the slope, we therefore have that slope dy over the x is equal to 3 multiplied by what is the value of x? 0 squared plus 4. Now, 0 squared is 0 and 3 multiplied by 0 is 0 and 0 plus 4 is 4. This is the answer. So I have this as 0 plus 4. Finally, the slope is equal to 4. Therefore, the slope of this equation is equal to 4. It's as simple as that. Now, let's look at the next question. We have that y is equal to sine 2x at x is equal to 30 degrees. Alright, so what do we do? To be able to obtain the greatest function, we need to differentiate this function once with respect to x. And when we differentiate this, we have the y over the x. Now I pause. What is this function? Trig. What happens anytime you want to differentiate trig? First of all, identify the angle. Now the angle that we have there is 2x. When I differentiate 2x, I have 2. That's all. And when I differentiate sine, I have cos. Pull down the angle. This is the result. What next? We quickly impute the values of x. So at x equal to 30, therefore, we have our slope, which is the y over the x, is equal to 2 multiplied by cos 2 multiplied by 30. 2 multiplied by 30, we have this as 60. So we have this as 2 cos 60. Now, guys, you can use your calculator to have this done once, since it is subjective. Alright? You can have your calculator, impute this in the calculator, and you will have the answer. Now, don't forget that cos 60. Don't forget that cos 60 is 1 over 2. You can check that out with your calculator if you are like the doubting Thomas. Now we have this as 2 multiplied by 1 over 2, or simply you can use 0.5, and this will have given us 1. So therefore, guys, the slope to this particular equation is 1, as simple as this. So to obtain the slope of any function, you will have to first of all differentiate the function and then substitute the value of x. That's all. Now we have question number 3 on the board. We are given that y is equal to 3x plus 2 into 5x minus 1 at x is equal to 1. Now, guys, for us to be able to obtain the slope here, we equally need to differentiate this function once. Therefore, we have dy over dx is equal to, now, the next thing we are quickly going to do is to identify this function. Now, the function that we are given here is a product rule where we have two functions multiplying each other. Now, this is the first bracket, a linear function multiplying another linear function, all functions of x. Now, what do you do anytime you are differentiating product functions? All you do is to put down the first function, differentiate the second, then plus, put down the second, differentiate the first. So if this is understood, this is the second function. When we differentiate the second function, we have 5 multiplied by the first function. Then now, we will now differentiate the first function, which is 3x plus 2. And when we differentiate 3x plus 2, we have 3. Then multiply by the second function. This is the short method we use to solve product rule. Then if this is understood, the next thing we quickly do is to clear off the brackets. We have this as the multiplication factor. Then we use the multiplication factors to expand the brackets. Now, 5 multiplied by 3x. We have this as 15x. 5 multiplied by 2, we have this as 10. 3 multiplied by 5x, we have this as 15x. And 3 multiplied by negative 1, we have negative 3. At this point, we have what we call like terms. So 15x and 15x, they are like. Then we can add them up together. When we sum up these two values, we will have this to be what? 30x. And also, When we sum up 30, 10 and negative 3, this would have given us 7. Then we have plus 7. This is the differential result for this particular question. But now, how do we get the slope? We understand that slope, which is same thing as the y over the x, is equal to 30 multiplied by what's the value of s that we were given? 1 plus 7. Now 30 multiplied by 1 is 30 plus 7. And 30 plus 7, we have 37. This is the slope of this particular question. So guys, alright, now we have question number 4, and we have that y is equal to 15x plus cos 2x at x is equal to pi over 4. Now, this is very simple. All you need to do is to differentiate the y over the x. Now guys, we have this to be linear function, then we have this to be trig. When we differentiate 15x, we have 15. When we differentiate cos 2x, these two will come out, we put down 2. When we differentiate cos, we have negative sign 2x. This is the result. So the next we are quickly going to do is to note that at x is equal to pi over 4. The next thing you quickly do is to observe, where do I have the x? Is it in front of a trig or in front of a geometry? Because you need to understand that in geometry, pi is 22 over 7. But in trig, pi is 180. Are you there? So the x that we have now is in front of a trig. So it's a trig function. That is to say, we will take pi as 180. So this will have a 180 degree over 4. And this will have given us 45 degrees. It's not different from this question. We are only given in terms of pi. So all you need to do is to understand that anytime you are substituting pi in front or including trig identity, the pi is always 180, except it is not otherwise. Okay? Now, all we need to do now is to have that slope, which is the y over the x, is equal to 15 minus 2 sine 2 multiplied by 45. Then this will have given us 15 minus 2 sine 90 degrees. And we also understand that sine 90 degrees is 1. All of this you can use your calculator. At this point, this will have given us 15 minus 2. 2 multiplied by 1. If we agree that sine 90 is 1, then we have 2. When we remove 2 from 15, this will have given us 13. So the slope of this particular question is 13. Finally, let's look at question number 5. All right. Now for question number 5, we have y is equal to 3 minus 2x all raised to the power of 3 and x is equal to negative 1. This is very simple. The same way, the first thing you do is to identify the type of function you are given. Is it function of a function, product function, quotient function, logarithmic function, or implicit functions? Here we have function of a function. So how do I differentiate function of a function? It's as simple as this. Principles are what, when you know them, you become principals. So when you know principles, you become a principal. And when you understand boundary conditions, you will not overstep the boundaries. Now, all I need to do is to have this as the y over the x. Don't forget, this is for objective students, so we are using a very shortcut. How do we use shortcut to solve this? First is to identify the function, and we agree that this is what chain rule function of a function. So for function of a function, the first thing we do is to identify the power, which is 3. Put down 3, multiply by differentiate the function of x enclosed in the bracket. So when we differentiate 3 minus 2x, this will give us 0. When we differentiate 2x, we have 2. Then automatically this is negative 2. Now, we now multiply negative 2 multiplied by the power. This will have given us negative 6. Then repeat the equation and reduce the existing power by 1. It's as simple as this. This is all that we have for this question. All we just simply need to do now is to substitute for x. And what's the value of x? We have value of x as negative 1. So at x equal to negative 1, we have that slope or gradient dy over dx is equivalent to negative 6 multiplied by 3 minus 2 multiplied by negative 1, all raised to the power of what? Negative 2. And this will have given us negative 6 into 3 plus 2. Don't forget, negative 2 multiplied by negative 1 is positive 2, all raised to the power of 2. Then this will give us negative 6 into 5 raised to the power of 2. And don't forget, 5 raised to the power of 2 is 5 multiplied by 5. And 5 multiplied by 5 is 25. So I have this multiplied by 25. And negative 6 multiplied by 25 would have given us negative 150. So we have 150. So the units that you are given. So guys, you see that this is very, very simple when you understand the principle. So don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not done so. And ensure that you turn on the post notification bell for more exciting videos. I know you will not like to miss the next class. So turn on the post notification bell so that when we upload the next content, you will be notified. And don't forget to share this video, like, and make your necessary comment. Kindly check the description below where you will find the link to the next class. Love you. Thanks for watching.